Machiavelli understood something that modern society often ignores. Power is not only what you possess, but how you are perceived. In public, perception becomes reality. People do not judge your inner intentions or private struggles. They judge what you reveal through behavior. Once a perception is formed, it hardens quickly and resists correction. Public behavior is therefore never casual. It is a signal. Every word spoken, every emotional display, every reaction communicates information about your self-control, confidence, and internal hierarchy. Machiavelli warned rulers that authority is fragile not because of enemies, but because of carelessness in appearance. The same principle applies to individuals. Psychologically, humans are pattern recognition machines. We subconsciously rank others based on composure, restraint, and predictability. Someone who governs themselves appears stable. Someone who reacts impulsively appears weak, regardless of intelligence or good intentions. Respect follows regulation. Modern culture promotes constant expression. People are encouraged to share feelings, opinions, and vulnerabilities publicly. While emotional honesty has value, Machiavelli would argue that context determines wisdom. What is safe in private can be dangerous in public. Exposure creates leverage. Once something is seen, it can be remembered, interpreted, and used. Philosophically, this is about boundaries. Civilization depends on the ability to restrain impulse. The Greeks called it sophrosyne moderation. Machiavelli reframed it pragmatically. Restraint preserves power. The individual who lacks restraint becomes transparent, and transparency invites exploitation. Public space is competitive, even when it appears friendly. People are not consciously malicious, but they are always assessing who can be trusted, who is stable, who is reactive. These judgments influence opportunities, respect, and influence far more than merit alone. Machiavelli warned that leaders fall not only through force, but through self-revelation. They speak too freely, react too emotionally, or seek validation openly. Each mistake lowers perceived authority. Over time, others stop deferring, listening, or respecting boundaries. This does not mean becoming cold or deceptive. It means understanding that public life requires discipline. Strength is not loud. Control is not dramatic. Authority is calm. The 9 things discussed in this work are not moral rules. They are psychological and strategic errors that quietly erode influence. Avoiding them does not make you superior, it makes you protected. The first thing you should never do in public is reveal emotional instability. Machiavelli understood that emotional control is the visible foundation of authority. Once people sense instability, anger, desperation, insecurity, or volatility, they adjust how they treat you, not consciously, but instinctively. Psychologically, humans equate emotional regulation with competence. A calm individual appears capable of handling pressure. A reactive individual appears overwhelmed by it. Even when the reactive person is right, their message loses force. Emotion distracts from substance. This is why public emotional outbursts rarely achieve their intended effect. Machiavelli warned rulers against displays of uncontrolled anger or fear because such displays signal vulnerability. Anger reveals where you can be provoked. Fear reveals where you can be pressured. Once these points are visible, others need only apply pressure in the right place to influence your behavior. Modern psychology supports this. Emotional dysregulation reduces perceived leadership, trust, and credibility. People may sympathize in the moment, but sympathy is not respect. Sympathy places you lower in the social hierarchy. Respect keeps you protected within it. Public instability also creates memory. People forget facts, but they remember emotional moments. One outburst can overshadow years of composure. Once the image forms emotionally reactive, unpredictable, sensitive, it is extremely difficult to undo. This does not mean suppressing emotion entirely. Machiavelli was not advocating emotional numbness. He was advocating timing and containment. Emotion expressed privately can heal and clarify. Emotion expressed publicly often becomes performance, distortion, or regret. Philosophically, restraint is not weakness, it is delayed expression. The ability to hold emotion without discharge demonstrates inner strength. Those who cannot hold emotion must release it immediately, regardless of cost. That urgency is a form of dependency. Public emotional restraint also preserves optionality. When you remain calm, you can still choose how to respond later. Once you react publicly, the choice is gone. Words cannot be retrieved. Reactions cannot be unseen. Machiavelli's insight was simple. Never give away information about your internal state unless it benefits you. Emotional displays rarely do. They satisfy the moment but weaken position. Those who master this principle are often described as intimidating or unreadable. In reality, they are simply disciplined. Their calm unsettles others because it cannot be easily manipulated. The second thing you should never do in public is complain or present yourself as a victim. Machiavelli understood that victimhood destroys authority faster than failure ever could. When you complain publicly, you signal that events control you rather than the other way around. Psychologically, complaints reposition you in the social hierarchy. The moment you frame yourself as wronged, unlucky, or mistreated, you invite sympathy, but sympathy is not power. Sympathy places you below the listener. It subtly suggests helplessness, dependence, and lack of agency. Once that image forms, respect weakens. Machiavelli warned that rulers who blamed circumstances, advisors, or enemies revealed weakness. Responsibility, even when unfair, preserved authority. Blame shifted outward and eroded it. The same principle applies personally. Those who own adversity command more respect than those who protest it. Public complaining also exposes emotional leverage. It reveals what frustrates you, where you feel powerless, and what outcomes you believe you deserve. This information can be used sometimes maliciously, often unconsciously, to manipulate or dismiss you. Modern psychology confirms this effect. Chronic public complainers are perceived as less competent and less influential, regardless of actual skill. Even justified complaints reduce perceived leadership because they focus attention on suffering rather than solutions. There is also a deeper philosophical issue. Complaining externalizes control. It trains the mind to see power as something withheld by others rather than cultivated internally. Machiavelli's philosophy rejected this entirely. He believed fortune favors those who adapt, not those who protest reality. This does not mean injustice should be ignored. It means public space is not where vulnerability is processed. Private reflection, strategic action, or structured confrontation are appropriate responses. Public lamentation is not. Once spoken, it becomes identity. Victim narratives also invite containment by others. When people see you as someone who needs rescue, they stop seeing you as someone who commands respect. Even allies unconsciously lower expectations. Opportunities quietly disappear. Machiavelli's warning here is harsh but accurate. Those who want power must never appear dependent on mercy. Independence, even in hardship, signals resilience. Silence signals strength. Measured action signals intelligence. In public, composure communicates capability. Endurance communicates authority. Complaints communicate surrender. Those who master this principle are often described as unshakable. In truth, they feel adversity deeply, but they choose carefully where it is revealed. The fourth thing you should never do in public is overexplain yourself. Machiavelli understood that excessive justification signals insecurity, not clarity. When you explain too much, you imply that your position is weak and requires defense. Authority, by contrast, speaks briefly and moves on. Psychologically, overexplaining is a form of self-doubt made visible. It suggests that you are seeking approval rather than asserting judgment. Even when your reasoning is sound, the act of excessive explanation shifts perception. Listeners begin to evaluate you, not your ideas. Credibility erodes not because you are wrong, but because you appear uncertain. Machiavelli warned rulers against defending every decision publicly. Doing so taught observers that decisions were negotiable and authority was fragile. The same principle applies socially. When you justify yourself reflexively, You invite others to question you more aggressively. Silence would have closed the door. Explanation leaves it open. Modern psychology confirms this dynamic. People who over-justify are perceived as less confident and less competent, regardless of the quality of their explanation. Brevity is interpreted as confidence. Length is interpreted as anxiety. This is not fair, but it is how perception works. There is also a strategic cost. Every explanation reveals thought processes, priorities, and emotional investments. This information can be used to predict or pressure you later. Machiavelli's realism emphasized concealment, not as deception, but as protection. What is unnecessary to reveal should remain unspoken. Philosophically, restraint again emerges as power. The disciplined individual does not feel compelled to be understood by everyone. They act according to principle and allow results to speak. Those who need constant validation become dependent on external agreement. This does not mean refusing all explanation. Context matters. Explanation is appropriate when it clarifies, educates, or resolves misunderstanding. It becomes weakness when it is driven by discomfort with silence or fear of judgment. The motive determines the effect. Over-explaining also traps you in the past. Once you justify a decision publicly, you become psychologically tied to it. Changing course later feels like contradiction. Machiavelli valued flexibility. He understood that survival often requires reversal. Silence preserves freedom to adapt. Those who speak less are often assumed to think more. This assumption alone grants influence. The public mind fills silence with authority, while filling excess speech with doubt. In Machiavellian terms, authority is not built by persuasion alone, but by self-trust made visible. Brevity signals that trust. Explanation, when excessive, signals its absence. The fifth thing you should never do in public is seek validation or approval. Machiavelli understood that those who ask to be affirmed silently confess uncertainty. Authority does not request permission to exist. It is assumed, then confirmed through conduct. Psychologically, approval-seeking signals dependence. When you look to others for reassurance through excessive humility, self-deprecation, or fishing for agreement, you shift power outward. You allow the crowd to become the judge of your worth. Once that dynamic is established, your influence weakens. Machiavelli warned rulers against appearing eager to be loved, admired, or praised. Not because admiration is bad, but because needing it creates vulnerability. Those who crave approval can be steered by withholding it. Silence, criticism, or indifference becomes a weapon against them. Modern psychology supports this insight. Individuals who seek validation publicly are perceived as less confident and less authoritative, even when competent. Their behavior communicates that they are unsure of their own judgment. Others respond by trusting them less. Approval-seeking also distorts decision-making. When you prioritize how actions will be received rather than whether they are correct, you become reactive. Strategy gives way to performance. Machiavelli viewed this as fatal to leadership. Decisions made to satisfy public opinion rarely preserve long-term strength. Philosophically, this reflects a lack of internal anchor. The disciplined individual evaluates themselves against principles, not applause. They can tolerate misunderstanding, disapproval, and silence without losing direction. This capacity is rare, and therefore, respected. Public approval is also unstable. The same crowd that praises today condemns tomorrow. Machiavelli observed that favor is fleeting, while self-command endures. Building identity on external affirmation creates emotional volatility. Calm disappears the moment validation is withdrawn. This does not mean rejecting appreciation or connection. It means not depending on them. Gratitude received quietly strengthens bonds. Validation sought publicly weakens posture. Those who appear self-contained attract respect naturally. Their confidence does not demand attention. Their presence feels grounded. People listen not because they are asked to, but because they sense internal authority. Machiavelli's warning is clear. Never reveal that you need others to confirm your value. Once that need is visible, autonomy is compromised. The sixth thing you should never do in public is reveal your plans, ambitions, or next moves too openly. Machiavelli understood that intentions exposed too early become targets. What is known can be anticipated. What is anticipated can be obstructed. Psychologically, people respond differently to declared ambition than to demonstrated capability. When you announce what you intend to do, you invite comparison, judgment, envy, and interference. Some will doubt you. Some will subtly undermine you. Others will compete prematurely. None of this benefits you. Machiavelli warned rulers that those who speak openly of future plans lose strategic advantage. Power depends not only on action, but on timing and surprise. Once a plan is public, control over timing disappears. You are no longer acting freely. You are performing under observation. Modern psychology explains this through the concept of premature cognitive closure. When you declare a goal publicly, your brain receives a false sense of completion. Motivation drops, while pressure rises. You feel watched. The plan becomes heavier, not lighter. There is also a social cost. Public ambition can trigger resistance even from those who mean no harm. People unconsciously protect their own status. When your trajectory becomes visible, it forces others to evaluate how your success affects them. Silence avoids unnecessary friction. Philosophically, restraint again emerges as wisdom. The disciplined individual lets results announce intention retroactively. Action speaks without explanation. Machiavelli admired those who moved quietly and revealed strength only when it was undeniable. Revealing plans also creates psychological rigidity. Once you announce a direction, changing course feels like failure. You become attached to consistency rather than correctness. Machiavelli valued adaptability over pride. Silence preserves flexibility. This does not mean isolation or secrecy in all matters. Counsel is essential, but it must be selective. Plans should be discussed privately with those who strengthen them, not publicly with those who may dilute or distort them. Those who speak least about their ambitions often achieve the most. Their energy is directed inward, toward execution, not outward, toward impression management. They move without resistance because resistance has not yet formed. Machiavelli's warning here is precise. Never give others time to prepare against you, even unintentionally. What remains unseen retains power. The seventh thing you should never do in public is display desperation or need. Machiavelli understood that neediness collapses leverage instantly. The moment others sense that you require something approval, opportunity, attention, rescue, you lose bargaining power, even if your need is legitimate. Psychologically, desperation alters perception. A needy individual appears unstable, reactive, and easy to pressure. People may offer help, but they rarely offer respect. In social hierarchies, those who need are positioned below those who can wait. Patience signals strength. Urgency signals weakness. Machiavelli warned rulers against appearing dependent on allies, favor, or mercy. Dependence invites control. The same dynamic applies personally. When you show that you cannot endure without something external, you reveal where pressure will work. Others may exploit this intentionally, or simply lose confidence in you unconsciously. Modern psychology confirms this pattern. Desperation triggers avoidance. People instinctively distance themselves from those who radiate need because it feels burdensome and risky. Even well-meaning individuals often withdraw when urgency feels emotionally demanding. Public desperation also distorts your own judgment. When need is visible, you rush decisions. You accept poor terms. You compromise standards. Machiavelli viewed this as self-sabotage. Acting from urgency places you at the mercy of timing rather than strategy. Philosophically, the issue is attachment. When something feels essential to your identity or survival, fear governs behavior. The disciplined individual trains themselves to tolerate absence, delay, and uncertainty. This tolerance is freedom. Freedom creates leverage. This does not mean rejecting assistance or pretending to be invulnerable. It means controlling where and how need is expressed. Private conversations allow support without public exposure. Public displays convert vulnerability into identity. Those who appear self-sufficient command space. They are not rushed. They are not easily cornered. Their calm communicates abundance even when resources are limited. Machiavelli understood that perceived abundance often matters more than actual abundance. Neediness also damages credibility. When someone appears desperate, their words are interpreted as bargaining rather than truth. Intentions are questioned. Motives are doubted. Even sincerity becomes suspect. Machiavelli's warning is clear. Never show that your stability depends on others' immediate response. The individual who can wait controls the tempo. The one who cannot is controlled by it. The final thing you should never do in public is lose dignity, either by disrespecting others or by allowing yourself to behave without composure. Machiavelli understood that dignity is the outer shell of power. Once it cracks, authority leaks out rapidly. Public disrespect, whether through insults, humiliation, or contempt, often feels like strength in the moment. Psychologically, however, it produces the opposite effect. Those who degrade others reveal a lack of inner control. Anger replaces judgment. Emotion replaces strategy. Observers may enjoy the spectacle, but they rarely respect the person behind it. Machiavelli warned rulers against cruelty that lacked restraint. Punishment without dignity provoked resentment. Mockery without necessity provoked rebellion. The same principle applies socially. When you embarrass others publicly, you create enemies unnecessarily. Even bystanders register the behavior as unstable or insecure. Modern psychology explains this clearly. People who lose composure in conflict are perceived as less competent and less trustworthy. Even when they win an argument, they lose symbolic authority. Dignity, not dominance, sustains respect over time. Equally dangerous is allowing yourself to lose dignity through self-abandonment, begging, groveling, public humiliation, or reckless behavior. These actions signal that you have surrendered self-command. Once self-command is gone, external command follows. Philosophically, dignity reflects internal order. It is not pride. It is alignment between behavior and principle. The disciplined individual does not need to degrade others to feel elevated. Their stability speaks without aggression. Machiavelli admired figures who could remain composed even in hostility. Calm in conflict unsettles opponents more than force ever could. It denies them emotional leverage. It preserves optionality. Public dignity also protects future position. People remember who remained composed when tensions rose. They remember who did not. Reputation is built in moments of pressure, not comfort. One loss of dignity can outweigh many quiet successes. Importantly, dignity does not mean passivity. Firm boundaries can be enforced without spectacle. Silence can be more threatening than insult. Withdrawal can be more decisive than retaliation. Machiavelli understood that restraint, when backed by strength, is intimidating. This completes the 9 warnings. Each points to the same core principle. Never surrender control of how you are perceived. Public life is not the place for emotional discharge, validation seeking, or impulsive revelation. It is the place for composure, discipline, and measured presence. Those who follow these principles are not colder, they are freer. They choose when to reveal, when to act, and when to remain still. That choice is power. Machiavelli warned us not to be naive about public life. Wisdom, he knew, lies not in expression, but in restraint. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.